Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome to our flight back from Hamilton Island to Brisbane. Thank you very much at this point already to Builds and AU Scene for providing the copies of both Hamilton Island as well as Brisbane. Now, let's go ahead and get started over here. We have just headed out enjoying those beautiful 26 degrees Celsius outside. But unfortunately, it's not going to last for too long. So we need a good excuse to be out here, and that is obviously going to be the walk-around. So let's go ahead and start that. So the tap probe is in a good shape over here. Then the pitot tube and the AOA vane are as well. Yes, that famous 737 MAX vane. Now the nose gear compartment is in a good shape. We've got no signs of bird strikes or stuff. And then over here the pitot tubes for the standby and first officers. The speed indicators are good. AOA vane is also in a good shape. And then we can move a little bit further backwards. Next up we got the static ports, which are in good conditions down here. Looks like the holds are empty at the moment. So passengers have just disembarked. We're getting ready to depart again. Okay, the engine looks absolutely strange. I've got no idea what this is supposed to be. Yeah, congratulations, iFry. No comments. Alright, the bottom of the engines are fine though, and looking at the leading edge of the wing, we've got no sign of any damages. Over here, the wingtips are in a good condition, and then moving back inwards along the trailing edge, we're checking for any sign of bird strike damage or anything that might have occurred on the approach. Especially flying in areas like this one, there is actually quite a good likelihood that something might happen on the approaches. And oftentimes you don't even notice smaller birds that you run into, because they're not necessarily loud, so yeah. So, APU inlet door on the 737 MAX, quite different from the NG. And this is actually a 3-stage door now. Now, walking past the tailplane, lights on the back over here, again quite different from the NG. Also we got the tail skid, which shows no signs of a tail strike. Then on this side everything's fine. The static wick discharges are there, the leading edges are fine, and then we can walk around the side to get back to the other end side over here. Now, our aircraft seems to be in a good condition down here. The wheels are likewise looking good. Landing gear shows no sign of any birds or any damage. Quick look into the wheel well as well, making sure that there is no leakage or anything over here. And this is looking quite fantastic. Alright then, let's check the left-hand wing, and then we're already back on our way to the inside. Unfortunately, I have to say, I would really have loved to enjoy this beautiful summer weather for a little bit longer. And remembering how rainy Brisbane was on our departure, I have a feeling that, well, this is going to be the end of our summer holidays, even though it's still rather warm in Brisbane. Should be like 20 degrees by the time we get there. And another interesting fan, however you want to call this. It's not a fan. I mean, not the way it looks like. Maybe a fryer? Well, let's get right back up into our airplane then. And here we are. So, back into the flight deck of our 737 MAX. Everything is in a good condition on the outside. Then let's take a seat again, and let's go ahead and start preparing the airplane for our way back. Now, the first thing that we'll have to do over here is, of course, as always, to check our flight plans. So let's go ahead and actually start with this. So here's a plan. Now, the significant weather chart is quite clear on the way over. Then, however, we do have this number 1 down here, which is moderate turbulence below level 400. So the approach might be turbulence. Well, I guess we've already seen that before when we departed Brisbane 2 hours ago. In terms of airport weather, Hamilton is still beautiful over here, probably still runway 32 in use, and then Brisbane, showers in the vicinity, no significant clouds at the moment, so it might be clearing up here. Now, we're going to take about 2 hours until we'll be there. By that time, light rain, no significant clouds. That's the general type of weather that we're expecting. It's clearing up through the night though, so with a bit of luck it might already be better weather by the time we are arriving. Okay then, Into the flight plan, departing at 2:40 is an arrival just about on time, cruising in flight level 370 today, and then going down into the fuel section. 5.2 plus taxi, so 5.4 is the minimum, and honestly with this weather, I think it's okay to actually go like that. So 5.4 is what we need, and 5.4 is what we'll take. Well then, let's go ahead and start setting that up down here in our EFB. So we'll go to payload and performance, can actually clear all of that. Then let's go to weight and balance, and we've got 160 passengers today. Zero fuel weight should be 60.8, so let's remove a little bit of that cargo. We'll take 1,500 kilos. Fuel then 5,400 kilos, 143 should still be fine. Then let's load the new flight plan. And here we go. So trip is exactly 3,000 kilos. So we're going to arrive with 2.4 in the tanks. That's not very much, but kinda okay. So 5.4 means 2.7 on each side. Let's go ahead and start refueling here. So 2.7 and 2.7. Alright, valves on, and then we can start fueling. Now let's also start boarding already. Request boarding, and by the way, this is a really nice GSX profile here. This is where our passengers just went into when they left the aircraft. Let's see where they're going to come from this time, whether they're going to come out of the terminal or from down here. In any case, I really do like both the scenery, which just looks absolutely awesome, as well as the GSX profile. Okay, and now let's start doing some actual work down here. So, starting with our FMS, let's see, we're going from Yankee Bravo Mike Hotel. No, Bravo Hotel Mike to Yankee Bravo Bravo November. We are going to be the Velocity 1496. And our departure is going to be off runway 32. There are no SIDs over here, so it's just going to be radar vectors, and the arrival will be an ILS approach to 19 left with the Smoker 1 Alpha arrival and the Betzo transition. So let's go ahead and start entering that. So for the departure, we're going to fly to Ovron, then Bravo 462 inbound to Mike Kilo. Then we continue via Victor 153 towards Munar. Yankee 61 towards Ruox. And then Yankee 177 inbound to, well, Smoker. Alright, and then we should have the Smoker 1 Alpha arrival after that, so let's just actually reinsert this. Just give me something different here, and then we'll do that again. So, ILS 19 left, Smoker 1 Alpha from Betzo. Like this. Alright, and that's looking good now. So, copy the route and onto the performance initialization. Cost index 19, then reserve fuel 1.1 plus 900, so make that 1.9. Well, I'll tell you what, let's round that up 2 tons. So, zero fuel weight, 60.9, cruise level 370, then we need the average wind, which is 262 at 66. So, ISA deviation plus 10, transition altitude 10,001, noise abatement procedure number 1, and then fix info, Y, BHM, and we can draw a 25-mile ring around this one. Alright, 250 below 10,000 is on the VNAV page, and with that we are basically done with our FMS. Alright, and here are our passengers. Just looks neat, doesn't it? Really nice small airport with a really lovely terrain around it, and a beautiful model of the terrain over here as well. And then 1,744 meters runway, just amazing. That's how it's fun to fly, isn't it? Okay, refueling is completed. Fasten seatbelts coming on then. And a quick overhead panel scan. There won't be much to do today. So we can basically leave most of that stuff. Okay. So that's a panel scan completed. Then let's go ahead and see. Refueling is complete, so that stuff can go. We'll keep the park and brake set for the time being. Then YBHM, search, Hamilton, here it is. Runway is going to be 32. Let's actually go for the Asus up next. So, as expected, no departure charts here. And for the airport chart, 128.35 is the Asus. But, unfortunately, not today it seems. Let's try 12475. Nope. Alright, actually...
40 at 4.
Here we go.
Visibility 10. Sky conditions. No cloud detected. Temperature 25. Dew point 19er. QNH 1012. Transition level 120. Arrival delays possible due to ongoing traffic management adjustments. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information whiskey.
So, Asus whiskey.
Airport. Information whiskey. 1230 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 14. Wind 340 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions. No cloud detected. Temperature 25. Dew point 19er. QNH 1012. Transition level 120. Arrival delays possible due to ongoing traffic management adjustments. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested.
Okay, the iFly is playing tricks on me here, saying that we could not take off. Believe me, we can take off at this weight. Alright, let's see what we get when we choose the SimBrief calculator rather than the iFly calculator. So, here we are, takeoff performance. So, runway 14, calculate. Surprise, we can take off, even with 30 degrees of assumed temperature. Stop margin 19 meters, and that's bleeds on. Okay, perfect. Here we are. Yeah, who would have thought that that's possible? So, yeah, screw this. Okay, beautiful. Then we are basically done down here, so let's move into the takeoff briefing. Runway, they just changed runways though, it's runway 14 now. So, departures 14. Makes no difference for us since it's going to be radar vectors anyway. Okay, cool. So, let's go for the takeoff briefing, please. Threats for today's departure is going to be the very short runway ops. I'm kind of debating just going full takeoff thrust here, even though a 30 degree assumed temperature is possible. It's basically nothing anyway at 25 degrees outside. But we'll get to that in the performance section. Apart from that, let's go ahead and start with the route check, please. So, Yankee Bravo Hotel Mike to Yankee Bravo Bravo November, Victor Oscar Zulu 149R6, and the routing is going to be via direct to Ovron, Bravo 462 Mike Kilo, Victor 153 Muna, Yankee 61 Rurox, Yankee 177 Smoker. For the Smoker arrival, ground distance 502 versus 506, 2.5 remaining, 2.0 is the minimum, so we've got basically 10 minutes extra fuel. So, time here to see 0225, altimeter 1012, reading 30 feet. The MFRA is going to be 1030. Like that, flight directors on, minus master, standby instruments set. Left sea takeoff, runway 14, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and we'll be doing full thrust takeoff over here. And, well, runway heading 3000 for the engine out procedure. Now, we've already done the emergency briefing if you're happy with that. And, well then, taxi. It's going to be engine start on stand, straight out, backtrack, and then full length runway 1 for departure. The set will be radar vectored, climbing probably 4,000, 5,000, something like that. Let's go ahead and quickly pin those charts over here. So we got the airport chart, and is there anything general? Like a radar minimum chart or so? Of course there isn't, so let's just bring up the RMP approach runway 14. And over here we can see we've got an MSA of 2,800 in our departure sector. So 3,000 does keep us safe. Any questions or suggestions on the takeoff briefing? No? Okay, that's our briefing completed. Then let's go ahead and grab our IFR clearance. So the frequency should be correct. There is nothing else than a tower, is there? Nope, there isn't. Okay. Hamilton Tower, velocity 1496, request IFR clearance to Brisbane.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Okay, he's working on it. Alright, in the meantime, is there anything we can do? Not really, huh? APU is already running. Good. So just waiting for the clearance to come up then.
Velocity 14906, information whiskey is current. Cleared to Brisbane. After departure, fly radar vectors Overon, then as filed. Departure runway 14, initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 133.2, squawk 6367.
Velocity 1496 is cleared to Brisbane via runway heading, climb altitude 4,000 feet, runway 14 in use, departure 133.2, squawk 6367. Okay, so, climbing 4,000. Here we go, and then runway heading, runway 14, departure 133.2. Okay, and what was the squawk? 6367.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Like that.
on behalf of Virgin Australia
Beautiful.
and the entire crew, welcome aboard flight 1496, departing from Hamilton Island and heading to Brisbane. We kindly ask you to take your seats as indicated.
Okay, wonderful. So everything is cross-checked. Then let's go for the transit before start checklist, please.
Please don't hesitate.
Gear pins 1 to 3 removed. Oxygen test 100%. Yaw damper on. Fuel 5.4 required. 5.4 on board. 4 pumps on. Fasten belts on. Window heat on. Aircon and press. PAX auto bleeds on set. Press mode selector auto. Instruments cross-checked. Auto brake RTO. Speed brake. Down detent, park and brake set, stop and cutout switches normal, radius, radar and transponder set and standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, holding at the PA. Alright, and by now the load sheet should come on board, so let's go ahead and do this. I suppose all we're gonna need... What the hell? 161, 1,500, fuel, 5,400, 143 and 3,000. And just to be sure that payload is set. So 60.9 is the zero fuel weight, and that agrees with what we've got in here. Well then, takeoff performance, if we just go into the SimBrief calculator once again. So we've got flap setting optimum, thrust setting optimum, bleed auto, anti-ice auto. The only thing is, I want to go full takeoff here. Right, calculate. And can get that without... Oh yeah, here we go. So flex temperature disabled. Here we go. So full takeoff thrust, flaps 5, 33, 34, 46. Alright, so we got full takeoff thrust, flaps 5. Then our CG is going to be 20.2. And we had speeds of 133, 34, 46. Alright, and that actually matches the iFly calculation. 146, here we are. Beautiful. So, prepare position for departure, please. Obviously not going to do any pushbacks today. Cabin should be secure. Then we can close those doors, say hello to our passengers real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, a good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Virgin Australia, welcome aboard our Boeing 737-8 on our flight to Brisbane. Today's flight time is going to be 1 hour and 20 minutes, expecting a mostly smooth flight at an altitude of 37,000 feet. For now, sit back, relax, make yourself comfortable on board, and we'll get back to you with the latest information as soon as we start the approach to our destination airport. Thank you very much for your attention. Ground from flight deck. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. Okay, that's all confirmed, Captain. Roger, thank you very much. Then we are ready for engine start. Sequence will be 2, then 1, and we call you back in a moment for engine number 2. So, complete the before start checklist, please. PA complete, FMC CDU set, and 1 on ES box. Earn automatic, full takeoff thrust, 33, 34, 46 set. Stop trim is 5.5 set. Performance weight and balance sign sent. Phones off, EFB, airplane mode stilled. Flight windows and cockpit are locked. Doors, why are the cargo doors still open? Those were supposed to be off. There's nothing going on anymore on the right, is there? No. Certainly not. Okay. Well, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete. Velocity 1496, request engine startup.
Velocity 14906, engine start approved.
Engine start approved, velocity 1496. So, before start checklist below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. Ground flight deck, starting engine number 2. Clear 2. Engine 2 start. N2. N1. That motoring could take quite the while in the real world. The EGT would also be quite a bit warmer after a turnaround. So I would expect like a minute to a minute and a half of motoring right now in the real world. The iFly is a lot quicker though. Here we go. So, valves are operating. Okay, that's looking like a good start on engine number 2. We're starting engine number 1. Clear 1. Starter cutout, monitor 2. Back isolated, starting 1. and 2. And 1. Motoring in progress. Come on. Here we go. Now we also have oil pressure. That's coming very late on the iFly. Alright, so we've got 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin on the front, please, and have a good day. Bye-bye. Alright, starter. Cutout, monitor 1. Waiting for the red EGT start limit to vanish. And that's number 1 stable. Okay. Flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. And neutral. Okay, B4 taxi checklist, please. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 free quiet, 5 selected and a green light, step trim 5.5 set, start levers idly turned, flight controls checked, recall checked, B4 taxi checklist complete. Velocity 1496, request taxi.
Velocity 14906, runway 14 taxi via Alpha.
Runway 14, taxi via Alpha, velocity 1496. Okay, that's on the left. Straight there. Can already turn that strobe light on for the backtrack. Well, let's wait until we actually have clearance though. So, config. And then we clear on the left side, clear on the right side. Velocity 1396, requests backtracking runway 14. So the left side is clear, the right side is clear.
Velocity 14906, runway 14 backtrack approved.
Runway 14, backtrack approved, velocity 1496. Okay. So, to the right-hand side, they're still doing the safety demo, so it is going to take a little while. Might as well taxi slowly. Look at the beautiful islands here. This is a place I want to go. So here's something we forgot. That should be runway heading 135. Okay, B4 takeoff checklist down to the line, please. Config, checked. Flaps, 5 green lights. Step trim, 5.5 set. Takeoff briefing, it's going to be left seat takeoff, runway 14, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure number 2. What the hell? Noise abatement procedure number 2, and takeoff speeds are going to be 133, 134, 146. The SIDS is radar vectors, climbing, altitude 4000, contact departure when advised. Emergency, straight at 25, climbing 3000. Any questions? No? Okay. meet. Cabin secured, before takeoff checklist complete. Velocity 1496, ready for departure.
Velocity 14906, runway 14, winds 340 at 4, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 14, cleared for takeoff, velocity 3, direction 1496. No LNF, please. Alright, before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP, set, transponder, TA array, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Are you ready? Then let's go. Takeoff. Timing. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. 80 knots, checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Heading select. Oh yeah, that's the side I like.
Velocity 14906, contact departure on 133.2.
133.2, velocity 1496. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. Departure velocity 1496, passing 2600, climbing 4000. Select vertical speeds. No? Not talking to us? It should be 133.2, shouldn't it? Okay. Come on, A. And 33.2 is definitely set. That's what we're supposed to be on. Departure velocity 1496, maintaining 4000. Nope, not talking to us. Velocity 1496, can you please confirm the departure frequency for us? In the meantime, after takeoff checklist.
Velocity 14906, Hamilton Tower, departure frequency is 133.2.
We do not get any reply on that frequency.
Velocity 14906, advise contact Brisbane departure on 119.25 for departure frequency.
119.25, velocity 1496. Thank you and bye bye. Departure velocity 1496, maintaining 4000. Again! Okay, well now I'm cheating. Now I'm going into sane tensions here. Let's just call one of the centers here. Velocity 1496, maintaining 4000.
Velocity 14906. Hamilton info, radar contact. Climb flight level 240, turn right, heading 325. Vectors to OVR on. Then as filed.
Climb flight level 240, and can we proceed direct to Mike Kilo, velocity 1496? So, set, 240 checked, VNAV. That's a step into the right direction now. Velocity 1496, request to proceed direct Mike Kilo.
Velocity 14906, roger. Proceed direct as requested.
Direct Mike Kilo approved, velocity 1496, thank you. Okay, LNAV, VNAV, and we're climbing, finally. Okay then, after takeoff checklist. Air condition and pressurization, 1.7 climbing and set. And holding at the altimeters. So let's release the cabin, the weather is beautiful after all.
Velocity 14906, climb flight level 250.
Climbing flight level 250, velocity 13906. Set, 250 checked. Okay, beautiful. So that was an interesting one with 2 departure frequencies not working, but hey, doesn't matter. We're up and on the way, and at the end, that's all that counts. And we got a couple of nice views of the islands here on our departure, while we've been trying to organize our departure frequency. It has its advantages, doesn't it?
Velocity 14906, climb flight level 270.
Climbing flight level 270, velocity 1396. Set, 270 checked. Set standard. Standard cross check, passing flight level 107. Now. Checked. Okay, so, 10 checks please. Fuel is balanced, 4 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air can press, 3.6, climbing set, fasten belts, auto, recall, checked, and 1 to 1.5 monitoring, 10 checks completed. Well, my friends, so let's see. Optimum 386, planned cruise level is 370. Is 390 going to produce any saving?
14906, climb flight level 290.
Climbing flight level 290, velocity 1396. Well, I suppose it makes no difference, so might as well just stay in flight level 370. Alright then guys, sit back, relax and enjoy the flight, and I see you over on the approach to Brisbane. Let's see what the weather has in store for us today. We are slowly approaching Brisbane and descending flight level 120 right now.
Approach on 119.25.
119.25, velocity 1496. Bye bye. Brisbane approach, velocity 1496, information Yankee, passing level 151, descending level 120. Okay, so we're inbound Smoker. We're clear for the Smoker arrival.
Brisbane approach identified. How declared Tannic transition. Expect the ILS runway 1 left approach into Brisbane.
And they've just changed the entire arrival. Mechanic transition, expect the ILS 1 left into Brisbane, velocity 1496. Okay, so they just changed the entire arrival from what they had active earlier, so it's runway 1 left now. Let's go ahead and reprogram this real quick. Smoker 1 alpha arrival, Tannic transition, execute, and discontinuity here, yeah, that's fine. Let's proceed to OTGAT, execute, and here we go. What did this thing do? Alt hold? That's nonsense. Give me a VNAV, please. Sometimes the iFly. It really shows that the iFly is good visuals, but not anything else. When everything goes standard, it's okay, but as soon as non-standard stuff happens, like just now, things are going...
1496, descend altitude 8000.
Descending altitude 8000, velocity 1396. Yeah, as soon as things are going non-standard, that's where the iFly really gets problems. So, runway 1 left, 10 miles and 5 miles for the time being. I don't trust the weather completely just yet. Well, then we gotta find the entirety of the new charts and stuff like that, so let's do that real quick here. Added clip. Now we can remove that one, and we'll choose that one, and remove 19 left, add 1 left. Complete. So here we are, inbound OTGAT below 120, Golf above 8000. Then towards SNAV. And a lagging simulator. What the hell? Look at that. Here we go again. Don't ask me what just happened. So, Golf above 8000, then we got SNAV. And in the meantime, set QNH. 1011. Cross-check passing 10.3 now. Why is it in heading select? I'm not supposed to be there. Flight to SNAV.
1496, cross Tapple at or below altitude 7000.
Crossing Cathal at or below 7000, velocity 1396. Alright, cool. So let's do the 10 checks first, then the approach preparation second. Fuel is balanced with 4 pumps on, lights on, angle of bank 25, air cannon press.
Crossing Tapple at or below 7000.
Yeah, we know that. So, 2.9 descending set, fasten belts on, recall is checked, and 1 to 1.5 is now deselected. Alright, 10 checks are complete. So, let's quickly do the approach then. 1 left now, triple 1.5. GSX blocking my click spot, because why wouldn't it? Here we go, final approach course 016. Yes, set, and finally the minimums for this one is going to be 220 still, which is unchanged. Perfect. Okay, so that looks just like the chart, happy with that. Landing on 1 left, let's have a quick look at the runway as well. 1 left, 3,300 meters, vacate either Tango 8 or Tango 6, and then probably via Yankee and Bravo down to the terminal again. Roundabout, going back to where we came from. Okay, and that's the plan. Then I suppose we are just gonna go for the arrival briefing. So threats for the arrival, I honestly do not see any over here. 1,000 to go. So yeah, I don't see any threats for the arrival. So we've got 250 below 10,000, fixed rings, runway 1 left, 10 miles, and we can most definitely go with 4 miles here. The weather has improved rather significantly. So 10 miles, 4 miles. Smoker arrival is in here, and we land with 2.4. That means we burn 300 kilos. So we are looking at a landing weight of 63.3. Alright, so flaps 30 approach and auto brakes 3. And in case of go around, we climb towards however you are supposed to pronounce this. And thereafter heading 346, climbing 4,000. Any questions? Nope. Lovely, so that's our briefing completed. So, descent checklist, pressurization, land out 0, anti-ice off, appropriate fuel disgusting, IS not box checked and set. Approach, no, sorry, descent checklist complete. And then we can do the approach checklist straight away as well. So, frequencies. 111.5 3 times, fixed rings, runway 1 left, 10 miles, 4 miles. Idents, India Bravo November, India Bravo November, and India Bravo November. Standby instruments set, courses 016, and approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments, second cross-checked, approach rates checked and set, approach checklist complete. So, VSD on your side. Thank you. And that's it. So now the big question, can we reasonably do a visual? I think we can, can't we? Velocity 1496, any chance for a visual approach? The runway is in sight. Just give it before we get into the rain, please.
Velocity 14906, visual approach approved, runway 1 left.
Cleared visual approach, runway 1 left, velocity 1496. And we are turning base now. Okay, so Lutzi on top, please. And intercept course 016, thank you. So, give me that speed brake. I'll get the speed down towards 220 so that we can get the drag devices out. Heading 095 looks good. Flaps 1, speed checked. So that's now a little bit of tailwind, that's fine. Flaps 5, speed checked, and gear down. So, 4,000 feet go around altitude is set, and recycle the flight directors. Look at how lovely a descent this airplane can do. Altitude is checked, and then you can kindly take the ATC, please, because I'm going to be busy flying. That's what I call a beautiful descent rate here. So there's the airport. And here's the city. So, of course, while I'm taking screenshots, I'm missing my glide slope or my localizer.
Bank
That
angle,
had to happen.
Bank angle.
Oh, come on. 30 degrees, please. Velocity 1496, established on final. Set runway heading. Runway heading 016 is set.
Velocity 14906, expect the ILS runway 1 left approach.
What? You just cleared us for the visual. At velocity 1396, we are now established on the visual approach.
Expecting the ILS runway 1. Velocity 14906, visual approach confirmed, runway 1 left.
Yeah, so how about the handoff to tower? So a little bit crosswind, but other than that, nicely back on the localizer. Alright then, flaps 15. Can we contact the tower?
Velocity 14906, contact Brisbane Tower on 118.0.
Yeah, flaps 30. Speed checked, flaps 30.
Contacting Brisbane Tower on 118.0, velocity 14906.
Alright, landing checklist. Start switches. Continuous, recall, checked, speed brake, armed, green light, landing gear down 3 green. Auto brake preset, flaps 30, 30, green light, landing lights. To go.
Velocity 14906, Brisbane Tower, roger, continue approach, runway 1 left. Velocity 14906, Brisbane Tower, winds 320 at 5, runway 1 left, cleared to land.
Landing lights on, landing checklist complete.
Velocity 14906.
400. 300. 200. Approaching minimums.
Checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Right on the marker. Speed brake up, thrust goes normal. 83%. 100 knots. 80 knots. Manual brakes.
Velocity 14906, contact ground on 124.05. Switching to ground on 124.05, velocity 14906.
Alright, welcome back to Brisbane.
Brisbane ground, velocity 14906, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate. Good afternoon.
Velocity 14906, Brisbane ground, taxi to domestic terminal gate 44A via Tango 6, Sierra 5, Sierra Yankee Bravo Charlie 5. Good day.
Okay then. Okay, would you please do the read back? Taxi 44 Alpha via Tango 6, Sierra 5, Sierra Yankee Bravo Charlie 5, velocity 1396. Okay, then I gotta do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brisbane. We hope you enjoyed your flight with us today. Did you know that Brisbane is known for
Well,
its
apart from the slight overshoot on final...
1496, taxi to domestic.
Yeah, you said that.
Taxi to domestic terminal gate 44 Alpha, via Sierra, Yankee Bravo, Charlie 5, velocity 14906.
Look at that, suddenly she can talk. So, Sierra, Yankee, Bravo, Charlie 5, 44 Alpha.
Thank you for flying with Bachelor's.
Alright, let's speed this up a little bit until we reach the gate, and then I see you for the shutdown. Okay, we're approaching Charlie 5, which is the next to the right, and then our gate is going to be just over there. Let's go ahead and start our APU. Slow back down to 10 knots for the turn. And as you can see, I've already shut down engine number 2 to do single engine taxi in here. With those long taxi times, that definitely does save quite a bit of money in the operation. Okay, gate 44 Alpha. We're coming in over here slightly to the left. So it's got to be that one. So a little bit more thrust here to make sure to keep her rolling until we've turned onto the gate. So lights off. And the weather radar is already off. Excellent. Here we are. So 44 Alpha. So is there any martial law anywhere? Oh, there is a guidance system operating. Okay, that's fine. So, 737 MAX is on there. We're on the center line. Yikes. Feet.
Jetstar 485, request push and start clearance.
Jetstar 485, push and start approved.
Push back and start
Stop.
approved. Jetstar
Nice.
485.
So, 2 blue, 1 red, engines dead. Alright. Capture all doors in park. Temperature still 23 degrees. In that case, APU bleed is going on. Okay then. So, both engines below 20%, transit shutdown checklist. Electrical on APU, fast modes off, probe heat auto, anti-ice off, air conditioning packs auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed on, exterior light set, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down at 10, flaps up no light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CB in, cockpit door about to be unlocked, and that's the shutdown checklist completed. So, deboarding is requested, and then we can grab ourselves a little bit of ground services here. So, ground support, shocks in place, ground power in place.
Jetstar 485, runway 1 right.
Now it is rather
Charlie 10,
cloudy, so I
Bravo
don't
Niner,
think
Alpha
that the
Niner.
23 degrees is going to heat up the aircraft too much.
Runway 1 right,
So
taxi
let's actually go ahead and shut that
Bravo,
APU
Bravo
down.
Niner, Alpha Niner, Jetstar 485.
Okay, my friends, and with that, welcome back to Brisbane. I do hope you enjoyed the flight as much as I did. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, and I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one. Be sure to check out the 2 sceneries, AU Scene Hamilton Island and Inni Builds Brisbane. And with that, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.